Hey everyone, Genome here, coming at you with some maybe kind of bad news, but more like good news. I don't know what the case may be. Sorry it's been so long since my last video. I've been really sick the last 2 weeks, but there's been another development regarding that. I'm only really talking about two games right now on the channel, and the main one was Marvel Strike Force. Kind of the whole reason I built the channel was so I could do some Marvel Strike Force videos. Well, lo and behold, I've taken some time away from the game, and I don't think I'm coming back. I'm going to be honest, it's not some clickbait thing. I don't care about YouTube subs and all that much. I mean, I really appreciate you guys watching my videos and all that, but it's just something I do for fun and try to help people along, But this is the first time I've logged on to this game in like a week. I've been away from it for like a week and a half now, and I really don't see a need to come back. And I'll have to figure out something else to do with the channel, maybe do some more Hearthstone stuff, but it's been a long time coming, and I'm going to go over several reasons why I'm quitting this game and don't see myself coming back to it. Let's go over real quick to my login day. So yeah, I'm at like 1235, whatever that means. So over 1,200 day player, right? So I've been playing for quite a while this game, and this is the first time since playing the game I've taken more than 2 days off of playing this game. That in itself is a problem. We'll get into a little more of that later. But yeah, it's been like a week and a half, and man, it doesn't take long to be away from this game to realize that maybe this game just isn't that good for you. But let's get into some of the reasons why. A little background. Like, I've been a video gamer since like the early 80s, right? I've been playing. I cut my teeth on the Atari 2600 and coin ops, and been playing ever since, even though my gaming has definitely dwindled the last decade or so. But whatever the case may be, maybe I have a different mindset on things. But one of the big, huge issues I have with this game is how it tries to structure your life around it. To me, gaming is something you do when you have free time. You're sitting around, nothing else to do. Hey, let's go out and, play some Metal Gear Solid or something. I don't know. Revisit an old game. It's something you can put in your console for a couple hours, play it, be happy, and be done, right? There's no scheduling involved. I'm not saying to myself at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, I need to log in order to do something on the game. That's just not how it works, right? For me, anyway. That's not the gaming experience for me. Gaming experience is usually kind of spur of the moment. Hey, I got time. Let's do something kind of fun. I have anything else productive to do. Let's go play some games, right? So Marvel Strike Force is the antithesis of that, right? Everything about this game is tailored to keep you coming back on a schedule, right? 3 times a day, you're logging in for resets, right? If you're doing the whole blitz madness of like doing like 8 or 9 rotations a day, you're logging in like every 2 hours, right? You don't ever miss a login, even if you don't plan on playing that much that day, for fear of missing your daily rewards, which are supposedly worth like $40 or whatever in cash, whatever, and your calendar rewards and all that. It's absolutely insane. And, I was as guilty as anybody, man. Okay, well, 11:05, time to log in. If I have, a few moments to check the store, see what else is new, grab my energy before it disappears, right? They have us trained like Pavlov's dogs to salivate on command, and I find it personally repugnant. I don't think that is the gaming experience as it should be. A lot about this game isn't. In fact, it encompasses the worst in most aspects of what people call gaming now, between FOMO, micro and macro transactions, and just how it takes over your life in a way. It's really bad. In a game, when there's so little to actually do, should not be taking up 2+ hours every single day out of your life. That is not healthy. And where's the reward for this work? You're just always behind. And this is the atmosphere they foster and create to keep you in there. And personally, I think I'm just done with it. I should have quit this game a couple years ago, but I didn't, because even though I am a free-to-play player nowadays, I've only spent like $18 in this game total over all this time, because I'm not going to reward their behaviors, right? Even then, I still have something of the sunk cost fallacy everyone likes to talk about, in the fact that, well, I got all this time invested in this game and these characters, I can't just give it up now. All I got to do is log in, and do my thing. Well, you know what? I'm tired of it. I shouldn't have to feel like this game supersedes anything that goes on in real life. You know, if you have a family get-together, well, you gotta stop what you're doing and get on your phone for a few minutes looking like an idiot. People do it, I'm sure, while they're driving. I've done it before. Not very often, but I mean, it's just not healthy how this game forces you to come back on all the time. It's just not a gaming experience. It's a job, and it's a job they don't pay you for. So, yeah, that's probably my main number one reason for getting this game up is just the fact that it's insidious how much they want you to play this game. You no longer play this game when you want to. You no longer play this game for fun. You play this game because you have to. You can't miss out on what's next, or you'll fall too far behind, right? Because the shelf life on a lot of these characters is so short nowadays that it's not like you're getting a long-term investment. You know, for those who jacked up, say, Magneto or Nick Fury to the highest level, you know, maybe Nick Fury's not so bad anymore, early on, and expecting them to last, well, guess what? They didn't, you know, and it's just what's newest and right around the corner. And that's something else this game really fosters is how you can't miss anything. And that's coming up to another point of mine. And I don't have these written down or anything. It's kind of just go my memory, but fear of missing out on characters. Like, long gone are the days now where you can skip a team, right? So even if you don't like war, I despise war. That's for another point later. You can't miss out on these war teams because you're just going to make it so hard on yourself. But even if you're like, okay, well, forget it. It's just war. Who cares? I'll skip it. Well, they're going to make these characters somehow related to another game mode or unlock in some way. Those days are long gone where you have a skippable team. Scopely knows there's way too much money to be made on this, right? Take the last couple of these events, for example, like this Nowhere Heist nonsense, or the last one that we did with the Pocket Dimension, right? Useless characters, you know, 95% of them are just useless. Awful characters, and people have avoided like the plague, but Scopely has found a way to make you work on them. So this is kind of getting back to the fear of missing out. Because now we're seeing, and remember how they included Omega Red as the best character, basically, for the Pocket Dimension? Well, guess what? Now everyone's scared to death of missing out on any Legendary, because will they be another Pocket Dimension exclusive to help it, you know, make it much easier on yourself to win without having to drop untold amounts of gear and resources into other very suboptimal characters? Well, guess what? You can't miss them anymore. And guess what? Well, what character is going to unlock that next Legendary that I can't miss? Well, I can't take a chance on missing any characters they're releasing, because it could be Web Warriors, it could be these Young Avengers idiots or whatever. It's gotten awful. So fear of missing out on new characters is no longer skippable teams. Another reason, right? Another huge point is this game, and I've watched this progress over the years. It started with war and it's worked its way up. This game has become mandatory in building wide rosters, and that's not how the frame of this game really should be. This game is a hero collector, but with the caveat of being an incredibly scarce resource collecting game so you can work on those characters, right? This game just trickle feeds you resources in order to build these rosters. And let's use an example of not hitting the button, as I like to say. You're going to start getting down here, and you know, Zemo too. You're going to see an awful lot of orange where I don't hit the button because it's not worth the gold to upload or upgrade these characters at all. And, you know, it's not just me. I have like 30 or 40 of those characters probably pretty easily. Yet, this game is insisting that you build wide. This kind of started with war, right? All right, well, we're going to make a game mode where you have to build wide in order to be competitive, right? You just have to. There's no choice in the matter. So, okay, that's fine. I and many others have really skipped out on war. I very rarely work on it. I never work on a straight war team, ever. And over the years, like, take Fantastic Four. I haven't worked on them. They're not, like, I think more than, like, 40K each across the board, right? Haven't worked on them in years. I don't care, because I don't care about war. But, all right, Scopely's like, well, that's not making people build wide enough. So we're going to do, like, the Doom campaigns and Doom raids. Those are forcing you to build wide rather than building one or two really strong teams like you could in Ultimus and everything before that to clear most content. Well, guess what? Now you just got to build wider and wider and wider with really, really weird and wonky tags, right? Okay, well, maybe that's not even enough. So now we're going to make it to where you're going to have to use old characters to help unlock new legendaries. Oh, that's great, isn't it? It's good for the player. No, not when you use characters like Winter Soldier, who have been historically completely useless in this game. Absolutely, people have avoided him like the Black Plague. They have never put anything into him because he's always sucked, right? Oh, but he's required now for a legendary, who is a legendary that's going to be pretty much required to help you with Pocket Dimension, and he could be very much needed for another thing down the road. Who knows anymore, right? What we're going to need. So you got to build up like characters like Winter Soldier, all right? So, okay, there's more building wide. More legendaries nowadays, ever since Adam Warlock, you have to have, they're a mythic. Now they're all mythic legendaries, right? Like Omega Red's all that mythic. Give me a break. He was a B character at best, right? But whatever. You gotta build these guys up. Not only you have to build these old characters like Winter Soldier up, you have to put like Gear 14 on them, right? To get the full unlock of the legendary. Like it wasn't bad enough before, right? With useless teams like Pimtech. Oh no. Now you gotta actually gear these characters. You can't just build like one or two really strong characters and then skimp on the other ones. Nope. This game is completely forcing us into a build-wide mentality, and the entire framework of the game is built against that. You can't. You have to manage your resources, and we just don't have enough. So, at the end of the day, they want you to buy. They want you to buy more resources, and frankly, I've had it. I don't buy anyway, but you sit there and beat your head against the wall. Only spend $1 million a day. Well, what is that going to get you anymore? It's coming too hard and too fast, and no double entendres there or anything like that. But the way the game is progressing and how you can't skip anything now, we just don't have enough resources. I'm tired of worrying about it, right? And I worried very much less than almost anybody else, right? I did my stuff every day. I tried to get all my war attack in. Not that I cared about war that much, but, I was a good alliance mate, right? But it's just too much anymore. You can't keep up with it. And have they made it any easier on us? They haven't made like this sudden deluge of resources. We're still starving for sometimes 13s, 14s for sure. Teal gear, how much are they going to bottleneck DD5? I don't care because I'm not planning on going in there. I could care less about it. I don't do Doom raids. And of course, I'm not really even in Alliance anymore. My Alliance fell apart in the last couple of weeks. But that was just kind of, it wasn't really any part of my decision. I like my Alliance mates, but they're not going to make me stay into a game that I hate just because, I'm semi-friendly with them online or whatever. I don't know these people. And they're not going to keep me doing something, kind of destructive, self-destructive. So there's two pretty strong reasons, 3, who are these characters, man? What kind of crap characters have they released in this last year? The last interesting character that they released, at least for me, was Silver Surfer, right? Who else you got? Captain Sam, Kestrel, Echo. These whole Spider Universe stuff. Granted, I'm an old school comic guy. I don't watch the new stuff, and I could care less about the movies or shows. But who are these losers? Heroes for Hire? Like, Luke Cage at least has some history, but these other ones? Luke Cage and Iron Fist, but and they make them some suddenly super strong team. And I realize you can't make every team like comic book power levels faithful because, some teams will just roll over everything. You can't fight cosmic beings, but they got these scrub city characters, that can just beat down basically any team but 3 other teams in the game. And they're nobodies. They're a bunch of nobodies. And even Luke Cage and Iron Fist were they're beat level at best, at least in the 70s they had their heyday, but, I digress a little bit. It's just these character selections are awful, just terrible. And, Ghost Spider, oh, so cool. It comes from a comic book that can't get 5 issues in without getting rebooted and reissued again, so they can start making money on #1 issues, right? Just a terrible selection. Where's our good villains, for example? We haven't had good villains since, what, Black Order? Whip and X, but that's half heroes, right? So, character selection has been awful. And that's another big reason. Half the reason that most people play this game, probably more than half, is that it's Marvel IP. But you're just putting out these characters from stupid shows that, are barely, breaking even, whatever. But these are the characters we're getting, and they're supposed to be super powerful. whatever. I don't like them. I think they're lame. There's so many great characters that are out there, especially villains, who we have not seen this game yet because they're just so intent on bringing us these trash characters from these new IPs. That's probably Disney. It's like, okay, well, you have to put out this certain amount of newer stuff, and people are thinking, well, they'll buy more. Scopely thinking they'll buy more if it's a newer character. People realize, and they're probably right. I mean, what do I know? But it's just not good. I don't like the characters they've been releasing this whole last year. And yeah, and then let's talk about the elephant in the room, the blatant power creep. I mean, ever since the Great Reset of Silver Surfer, these characters are just obscene. They are just too good. And it's actually not the fact that they're too good, it's just that it makes all the other characters so bad. Like, a lot of games will tempt balance upon new releases. And if in lieu of that, there's incremental, like, a raising of power levels, right? It wasn't like this with this. I mean, once there was Silver Surfer and everything else beyond that is basically just completely negated everything before, and reworks too. Reworks have, which is good because it gives some value to older characters that people might have worked on. But it's like all of a sudden, like Spider-Man Miles is stronger than Black Bolt. It's like, what? Where does this come from? There's no rhyme or reason. They've painted themselves into a corner, but in order to sell all these characters, they got to make them overpowered, and that gets people so excited. They're trying to go for not just the whale market, because the whales will buy anything. It doesn't matter what it is. But they're trying to go for more of the dolphins, and the people who might be lured in spending by, it's like, well, I'll be super powerful. And that's why they let these characters run rampant in RTA for a while, so it's another place that they can show, oh, hey, this character is amazing. And that kind of gets into the fourth point, is these mode-specific characters. I am really sick and tired of these mode-specific characters. Now we got the Eternals with arena-specific tags. You got raid-specific tags. You got war-specific tags. What's next? Blitz? RTA-specific tags? It's so lame. Once again, building wide. You got to build wide. And rather than just work on the characters that you want to, you're kind of like pigeonholed into working on these characters and or teams that they tell you have to be. Where's the theory crafting anymore? Some of that might be sour grapes on my part. I don't know. But whatever the case may be, it's just, I don't like all these specific tags. Who cares about war defense, honestly? You don't ever see those characters. War offense is bad enough, right? Because you only use them like 3 times a week. So you expect me to dump enough resources to a team to make it like 700 plus K on a team I use for exactly less than 15 minutes a week? No. Just no. I'm sick of it, Just make them good. Just take away the specific tags. Even the Dark Dimension tags, the Pimtech, they had Dark Dimension tags. See how useful they are anywhere else. They weren't even useful in Dark Dimension where they were built, right? That team was created just to sell a legendary, and we were forced to build them. It's lame. Yeah, that's another thing too, is where do they get these legendaries? I mean, Jubilee, no offense, I didn't mind the character back in the old, Claremont and Byrne days, but Jubilee, a legendary? Weapon X. Omega Red, a legendary? Come on, now we're talking like lower power level stuff. Like Nick Fury is kind of on the fence there. I mean, he's only legendary in status, right? And have being around so long. Magneto is a legendary, right? That makes sense, but I mean, like, Shuri? Who is Shuri? Invisible Woman, she's a legendary, at least power-wise and lore-wise in the books, but just lame legendaries. Adam Warlock makes sense, too, but he wasn't hugely featured outside of, like, Infinity Gauntlet stuff and Thanos stuff. He wasn't, like, a character that was everywhere. He has his time in Thor a little bit, too, but just lame excuses for legendaries. Who's the next one? I guess we got Apocalypse coming up, and he's definitely a legendary character, but we'll see what comes up before him. What's it going to be next? Mole Man? I don't know. But, so yeah, that's enough whining about that. I don't know. It's just so many things have come together, and I've realized this a lot for a long time, to really suck the enjoyment of this game away from me. You shouldn't always feel helpless and like you're behind in something and you're gonna miss out. You know what? Another thing that's actually pushed me kind of over the edge, and as far as wanting to play this game anymore, and it's funny because it's a positive, right? It's a positive. So I just happened to pull 6 reds on Spider-Punk, a character I don't care about, and a team I don't care about, whatever. But okay, I got 6 reds. I got 6 reds on Dagger, too, for example. Well, guess what? I got to build this character now, don't I? I got 6 reds on him. But how am I going to? It's going to be like 2 years before I ever get this guy maxed. And by that point, is he going to be worth working on? You know, I have a couple 7 reds, but once again, those characters aren't getting used. Like Thanos and Black Bolt, I have at 7 reds, not getting used. So what's the point? You know, you think, I know why they do it. You get these boosted red star drop rates, and people will pull 5, 6, 7 reds on a newer character, and then maybe they will buy. They'll go out and just buy power cores, right? And, you know, max that character out. It's bad when you do something positive, like pull high red stars on a character, and red stars is the biggest joke in this game, by the way, and it actually is a negative. It's a negative because you know you're going to be staring at those empty, blank stars, and it's going to irk you, and they expect that to happen, and it's going to irk you every time you look at it. And it's going to make you push harder for a character you probably wouldn't have pushed for before. So another thing, the red star system, you know, is so lame. But so brilliant as far as sales go that it makes or breaks a character. So you have a lot of random things that have to come together for you to get a character worth building, right? So characters released, say in a milestone release, the friendly way, right? According to Cerebro, you can get 6 and 7 stars if you go really hard on them, right?
Okay. Of course, if you want to go really hard and spend some resources in there, you could easily get them up to 6 or 7 yellow stars.
Yeah, okay, whatever. So say you get super lucky, you get 5 stars on a campaign unlock. That's fine. That's after burning probably about 4,000 or 5,000 cores as well. That's something else they don't talk about, which are pretty hard to come by, right? So, okay, but in order for me to even try that hard, I'll have to have pulled early some higher red stars, because that character you won't be able to upgrade that character directly anywhere. You'll have to hope they pop into a store, 1 and 2 stars at a time, or 1 star at a time. As the rosters get bigger, it takes longer and longer. So, like, for instance, just use White Tiger example, all right? Apparently, I only pulled 3 on her. I don't care about the character, because I don't care about the team, whatever. But would she be worth working on if I only pulled 3? Probably not. You know, I mean, at the grand scheme, once you get to high levels, they have to be high red stars. And they're even building content around the level of red stars you have nowadays. You know, it's like, well, it's recommended you have at least 5 red stars or something on a character. So there's a lot of things in this game that conspire to not even make you want to build a character, but it's all on purpose. It's all to make you spend money to fill out those blanks. And frankly, I'm tired of it. Yeah, there's a couple. I mean, I didn't try on the Star-Lord event. I didn't try on Ghost Spider whatsoever, obviously, because I will not be forced into playing a mode like Blitz multiple times a day. So it just tries to, it tells you, it gives you, well, here's your agency, right? You don't have to do it 5 to 8 times a day, but you'll miss out on so much being free to play. Now, if you were just paying your way past a lot of this, it's no big deal. You just keep buying Power Core packs, $100 Power Core packs, and you just power through everything here. And then Red Star packs and hope for the best, right? It's predatory. It's awful. They're not making you play this game, right? That's the tired and tried and true argument. Well, you don't have to play. Agreed. You don't have to play. And I've really come to realize that you just don't have to play this game. And you spend a day even away from this game and you realize, like, I just picked up a lot of time in my day. And so, you know, in closing of this video, which got kind of long-winded, I want to let everyone know out there that there is not a thing in this game that you have to do. You don't have to let this game stress you. You do not have to log into this game every day. If you miss a character, you miss a character. If you're playing this game 2+ hours a day, you probably should reflect upon that. Can I do something more constructive with that time? Your relationships with alliance people that I almost guarantee you don't know and never will know in real life, should not predicate like how you feel obligated to play a game. This game does not reward you for your loyalty. This game doesn't start giving you stuff because you help their metrics by having screen time going all the time and giving people other opponents to play against, right? This game does not respect you. This game throws terrible event after terrible event at you and then has the temerity to call it good for the player, right? This game causes you to engage in behaviors that are antisocial and that can affect your real-life relationships. If you feel the need to break out your phone in the middle of dinner so you can log in and check or do your blitz rotation, there's an issue there. What does this game do for you for your loyal playing? Ask yourself that question. And then ask yourself, do I really want to continue with this pretty abusive relationship? And once again, it's totally voluntary. I know. But it's insidious how it works its way in there. And it's something so innocent as gaming has probably destroyed a few lives. I mean, can you imagine? It's just like gambling, right? It's a gambling phenomenon. If you're a spender in this game and you get so far into it that you feel you can't skip anything, you have to buy a lot of offers to keep up with your alliance mates because they're pressuring you to do better. You might start buying things you really can't afford. So you're affecting yourself in a couple of ways in the real world. And this is a game. I'm telling you. Some people might have forgotten that. It could be costing you untold amount of money financially. Put that money into a CD or a bond every year. And make it work for you, right? It's probably hurting your relationships and personal time. It might be jeopardizing your work schedule. If you're logging in during working hours and maybe you get caught doing it, you might lose your job. Reprimand, you might lose your big promotion. Who knows? I mean, I hate to give these what-if scenarios and these worst-case scenarios, but it could be. You might be logging into this game while you're driving to do your stuff, not paying attention, and you might get into a wreck. This game is not healthy in so many ways. At least when you go put God of War or Metal Gear Solid or Super Mario Brothers in your game, if you start feeling like, I don't want to play this, I can just stop right now, put it down, and never play it again, and you're not out of it. You're not missing anything, because that game isn't changing, right? And it's like, okay, I got something coming up in an hour, I'll just push pause or save, and I can put it down. Can you do that with this? Nope. I got my 2-hour blitz rotation. I got to finish this Nowhere event that was only an 8-day limited, whatever, with these terrible characters. This game is not healthy. I don't recommend people really get into it. I surely wouldn't recommend people play it now. And I would feel guilty if I keep making content about it, knowing how I really feel about it now. Now, does this mean I'm never going to make content again? Probably not. I mean, if it is, it's probably going to be some of the older stuff, like how to fix, because I like doing those videos, how to fix the older characters. But I'm not doing the events. I haven't been logging in for a week. There's only like 3 people left in the alliance. It fell apart, like I was saying, and I'm not looking for a new one. So I don't know. This is maybe my get out. There was a guy named Combs. I know this is getting really long. There was a guy named Combs a couple years ago, and he was doing Marvel Strike Force videos. He wasn't too many people doing it at the time. He had around 5,000 subs, and he quit. That was the only content he was doing, and he quit. He put a video out telling him why. And some of it was basically the same stuff I'm saying now, but it wasn't nearly as bad back then, right? He got out while the getting was good, and he was doing pretty well with subs and all that. This game, take a hard look at this game and your commitment to it, because this is definitely a one-way commitment. A one-way commitment. They have not even given us the shards, as far as I know yet, for Tadano Mac beating DD5. How many months ago was that? At least when it happened originally, Captain Marvel came to us really quick, right? And they gave us characters now who are basically farmable. So this game laughs in your face and then has the audacity to ask for more. I want more of your time, I want more of your money, or you're going to fall far behind. You're going to miss something. And I find it repugnant. I find a lot of what this game does disgusting. And that's why I'm out. So yeah, let me know in the comments below if you've had similar feelings like this. Look, if you want to keep playing, don't listen to people on the internet to make choices for you. But I'm hoping that a lot of what I say will reach people who are maybe on the fence, who've been thinking about it, and maybe some things they hadn't really thought about. How bad a relationship and how one way a relationship is in this game. Like, this game is it's basically a relationship. You spend more time with this game than you do with, like, significant others. So it's not healthy. It's not, in my opinion, what the gaming experience should be. And I just want to see people be happy in their gaming experiences. And if this game is not making you happy, I think it's time to take a hard look at it and say, you know what, I can walk away right now. And I don't care if you spent money in this game, quite a bit of it. Sunk cost fallacy goes two ways, because you don't just keep dumping money into a bad investment. You stop eventually. If that ship is sinking, you quit bailing and you get out and you go buy a rowboat, okay? Go find something else that's healthier for you. Don't let fake relationships, like in an alliance or whatever, sway you and keep you in a relationship that's turned abusive. And for goodness sakes, please don't pat and line their wallets anymore, especially if you have problems with how this game is both played and how it's actually developed and released to you. They need to work for you. They need to work for your loyalty, and they need to reward your loyalty with a lot better than what they do now. So, end of rant. I got my 5-star Doom. That was like all I really wanted to do in this game. That was my last thing, and I told myself once I got it, I'd probably slow down. I didn't realize that it'd be stopping, but there it is. So if you have a short-term goal, maybe like something like that, maybe get to it and then take a small break from this game. See how you feel about it later. And I'm done ranting. So, anyway, hopefully this was helpful to some people, cathartic to some. It probably was for me. And I'll try to figure out some more other content to put on the channel, as time permits. But, just be cognizant of what this game is trying to do to you. So, anyway, rant over. And until next time, this is Genome. Just waiting for his voice to come back now after all that whining. Out.